All right, let's just get right into it. What if you could get a graduate level education on how to fix your life? Not from some stuffy university, but from the favorite books of some of the most successful people out there? That's exactly what we're going to unpack today. An accidental curriculum that came from one simple question and led to 6 books that can genuinely rewire the way you think. Everything, and I mean everything, started with this question. Forget the resume, forget the perfect LinkedIn profile. This little question, when you ask it to someone, it's like a friendly curveball. It tells you more about a person in 30 seconds than anything else. It digs into their obsessions, their turning points, their core beliefs. And it's how we got the incredible reading list we're about to go through. And that's really what it became. Not just a random stack of books, but a real curriculum built from the hard-won wisdom of other people. These are the books that didn't just get read and put on a shelf. They stuck around, they shaped things, they rewired how people move through the world. So let's dive into the first part of our curriculum. Okay, so we're starting at ground zero, you. How do you actually manage your day-to-day actions and your relationship with time? These first 2 books are all about that. They're here to completely overhaul your personal operating system. First up, Atomic Habits. Honestly, this book is a total game changer for understanding how massive, life-altering change comes from the tiniest, most boring, seemingly insignificant actions. It just completely demolishes the myths we all believe about personal transformation. And this right here, this is the core truth of the book. We're all waiting for that big movie moment, right? Where the music swells and suddenly we're a new person. But it never comes. Real change is quiet. It's kind of boring. It's built on these tiny, almost unnoticeable wins, like deciding, after I pour my morning coffee, I'll meditate for just 1 minute. You just stack these tiny habits on top of each other. And this slide really frames the central battle. We spend our lives chasing motivation, but the book argues that motivation is about as reliable as a gas station burrito. What you actually need are systems, these dependable processes that deliver results whether you feel like it or not. The system is what does the work for you. And you might be wondering, does this stuff actually work? Well, this number, it's the proof. It represents over 100 pounds lost just by applying these principles. It started with 1 walk, then 2, then 5. All these tiny little decisions stacked one on top of the other can eventually make you unrecognizable in the best possible way. All right, let's move on to the next book, which builds on this perfectly. If Atomic Habits rewires your actions, well, the 12-week year completely rewires your entire concept of time. It basically takes the traditional calendar and just throws it right out the window.
I mean, this quote basically slapped my sense of time right across the face. It's so true. We set these huge goals in January, and then what happens? We put them off. The genius of this book is that it shrinks the entire year into this tight 12-week sprint, which forces you to take action, like right now.
And here's the key lesson. Urgency creates honesty. When that finish line is always just a few weeks away, you can't hide anymore. You're forced to get brutally honest about what really matters. It's not just about a shorter deadline. It's a whole weekly rhythm of planning, doing, and reviewing that leaves absolutely no room for your goals to just quietly fade away.
So with our personal systems getting dialed in, let's shift gears and talk about our professional lives. How do we build a career that's not just successful, but actually means something? These next 2 books give you a really powerful framework for doing just that.
This book is incredible. It's part practical guide, part therapist for anyone who is trying to build a business of one. It showed up at a time when the whole idea of independence felt a lot more like chaos with better lighting. It really makes the terrifying idea of self-employment feel actually doable. I just love this analogy because it nails the reality versus the fantasy, right? We have this image of a breezy laptop lifestyle in a cool coffee shop. The truth? It is a chaotic, high-stakes juggling act that requires real skill and, more importantly, structure to pull off. And that leads us to the book's big aha moment. Real freedom, that true independence you're chasing, it isn't about escaping structure. It's about building the right structure for yourself. It's about creating systems for your contracts, your pricing, your communication, so you're not just reacting all day long. Honestly, it helps you grow up professionally. Okay, so once you've got your structure, you need a purpose. Start with Why is the book that makes you slam on the brakes and ask what story you're actually trying to tell with your work. It pushes you past the what and the how to get to the absolute core of your mission. The big principle here is that people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The book lays out this idea called the golden circle. You've got what you do on the outside, how you do it in the middle, and right at the very center, why you do it. Most of us talk from the outside in, but the most inspiring leaders, they communicate from the inside out, always starting with why. This quote comes from this amazing little story. The author's kids asked him why we recycle, and after he gave some long, complicated answer, they just boiled it down to this. That was the why. It's simple, it's true, it's powerful. And it's a great reminder that having a clear purpose is one of the most underrated skills you can have. So for our final section, we're diving into leadership. And look, this isn't just for CEOs. This is for anyone who has to work with other human beings. These last two books offer some really tough, hard-hitting lessons on how to build great teams and take radical responsibility. Oh, this book, it's a leadership fable that basically acts like a mirror, and it shows you all the uncomfortable truths about why your team isn't working. You start reading it thinking it's just a simple story, and then halfway through you get this horrible sinking feeling that you're actually just reading about your last team meeting. And this is the core idea, this ladder of dysfunction. It all starts with trust. If you don't have trust, you can't have healthy conflict. If you don't have healthy conflict, you won't get real commitment from people. You see, it's a chain reaction. If you miss just one rung, the whole thing gets wobbly, and you'll never get the results you want. And finally, the book that strips away every single excuse you could possibly come up with. Extreme Ownership is a leadership philosophy that was forged on the battlefield, and its core principle is as simple as it is incredibly challenging. That's it. It's painfully simple. As a leader, you own everything. The book's mantra is, there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. It just forces you to look at every messy corner of your world and take full, complete responsibility. This is not a book you want to read. It's a book you need to read. So there you have it, our accidental graduate program. When you put them all together, these 6 books are an incredibly powerful toolkit for growth. They're not easy reads, I'll tell you that. They will challenge you, they will bruise your ego, and hold up mirrors you never asked for. But in the end, they will absolutely help you build a better version of yourself. And really, that's the main takeaway here. The information is out there. It's ready to help you rewire your habits, your work, your leadership. So the only real question left is, which one are you going to start with? The next version of you is already waiting.